Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 9th of June, 10th of June 1925, which is a few months on from the end of the last part because I'm basically been letting the game run in order to catch up with some construction projects. But I've got a few problems which I need to discuss in this video. But before that, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. And I suppose to a certain degree, I owe you a bit of an apology and an explanation because I've had a couple of comments about the fact that my editing has not been up to the level it normally is. And to be completely upfront, it's down to the heat wave here in the UK. I'm not a hot weather person in any shape, form or description. And to give you an example is my wife thinks I'm part polar bear because even when there's snow on the ground, I will have the window open and the room temperature's almost on borderline freezing according to my wife. And what happens is that when we get the temperatures get anything above the kind of low to mid 20s, I start to suffer and I find it very difficult to concentrate. And I'll be completely upfront, when the real hot weather hit about a week ago, I considered taking and recording nothing for about a week. I mean, the recording's okay. It's the editing, because I have to do the editing during the heat of the day, and I find it very difficult to pay attention to what's actually going on. Anyway, so that's an explanation of why things might be getting a bit ropey. Hopefully the heat wave will go away and we can start getting back to normal British temperatures. So that out the way, what I want to do in this video is, well, I'm going to give you an update of where we are. And then what I want to do is do a little bit of vehicle modernization in this area. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit of prep for it because what I want to do is start phasing out the wagons in this area, because in 1925 the age of the horse-drawn wagon was coming to an end. So what I do need is some refrigeration trucks, capacity 2.5. We're going to get 1, 2, 3, get about 4 of those. Just going to let them run. We are getting lots of new vehicles coming in. These are Brockaway 5 tons. These are NATO vehicles. Now, the other thing also in relation, I did get a comment about the dense trees here. Now, when I create an early start map, I tend to create these dense patches of trees. But then when I put down an industry like the bitumen plant here, or the pitch extraction plant, which uses wood, what I do is use this tool here. I mean, you might have seen me using it anyway. And I put it down, and then basically you can adjust the size of it here. And then what you can do is just paint into here, and you can do things like this. You can see, oops. That's popular. That's no good. Luckily, I'm doing it in this area. Yeah, you always want to use pine. For some reason, the game likes pine. And you plant that, and eventually they grow up. Now, when you do an early 1900 start, obviously, like at the industries I've used here for making bitumen and coal, wood is a very key industry, but you're never going to be able to drive a major economy from this. I mean, it's like these are good for knocking out a little bit of bitumen and coal for a very small construction industry here, but you're never going to make money from these. Using wood as an early form of heating is a good way to kind of get your early heating parts up in a cost-effective way. I know some people say, well, you're using mods, it's cheating, but to me personally, what gives an early start flavor and improves the immersion is mods. I think if you tried to play an early start, especially a 1900 start, using the mods and stuff which is available in the game, just to try and beat the game, you might as well just start in 1960 and just stick with it. So yeah, so the mods are kind of very much part of the overall experience, is probably one way of explaining it. Now, in this area, what we've got is there's not much actually going on construction wise. simply because I don't want to keep expanding this town. And at the moment, I need to make a decision about Southampton, which is what we might address in this part. So at the moment, the only real construction that's going on here is with our road crews pushing out the roads. In fact, the other thing I'm taking advantage of at the moment, I might as well carry on doing it, is I'm asphalting out these roads here, because this needs to be asphalted for the long term. So what I've been doing is just pushing this out, asphalting out the roads, so that eventually, once we get the more modern trucks through here, this will become a modern highway or motorway if you're in the UK. I mean, I'm not going to do the normal thing. I'm not going to asphalt every single road in these towns, because, to be honest, even when you've got modern trucks, because of the fact that there's lots of junctions and people crossing, these very rarely ever get up to their maximum speed anyway, so you don't really need to asphalt all these roads in here. Now, if we go down to Milford-on-Sea, this area is still slowly coming together, and I've been thinking a little bit about what industries we're going to build down here. Now, this is going to be talking about strategic industries, not the industries to get the town up and running. We'll still probably put those in. Obviously, a big factor here is going to be tourism, but for tourism to be really cost effective, we need to produce food and alcohol. So what we'll probably do is bridge over this railway line. We probably need to double track it. And is there... Yeah, we got a space for a farm here, although possibly a little bit of leveling won't be amiss. And what we'll do is we'll create some local food production here, like I've done in the other towns, just to cut costs down. Because one of the problems we're going to have going forward is that you can see we're making a small profit, but as the economy grows, and you can see we're now approaching 10,000, that small profit is going to disappear very, very quickly. That's the reason why I want to keep this kind of our cash reserve fairly high to deal with that. So we still got to stick with the early start mentality of self-sufficiency, but we now need to start thinking about going on a grander scale. Now, we obviously, one of the key industries for here is going to be the coal, which we've got in this area. That needs to be brought online, and I'm not 100% sure, because we've got no other resources here. I'm starting to think that we can use the coal as a local resource, but my instinct increasingly now is that this coal reserve, once it comes online, we will, how can you put it, build a port here, and we're going to ship the coal somewhere where it's going to be a bit more useful. Now, I've got a bit of a problem, which has kind of thrown my plans out a little bit. And the reason that problem is the fact that I was looking at this just before I started the video, and I was going to spend a lot of time planning coal mines, but I hadn't noticed this in the fact that the coal mines are only got 100 workers in them. Now, that's great for an early start, but to get maximum capacity out of these areas, I'm going to need the actual full-size coal mine. Now you can see this actually needs modern industry, which, if I remember correctly, if we come in here, where is it? Modern industry. It's with the, I think it's buried in with alongside. It's here, isn't it? Which is 1958. So that means we've got another 33 years to go before we get that. So when I'm planning these industrial areas, and this is going to be quite significant, I'm going to have to plan it for small scale, but in a way that it can be scaled up once we get the bigger mines, because I need to get the maximum out of all these coal mines around here. And that also, I think, applies to the iron mines. as well. You can see the iron mines, we've got 125 and 250. That changes what I was planning over here in Warstock, because I was going to go all out and plan an iron industry here, and I've actually put in 2 iron mines. So what I'm actually going to do is remove you, and we can get rid of the road. So what we're going to have to do is create what you could almost call a subsistence industry here with this iron mine. That also applies to this coal mine here. We're going to remove you. We're going to keep this one because I'm going to need the coal. So we're going to have to try and build a kind of fairly low scale kind of, I mean the steel mill is the standard steel mill that we've got, but I don't want to feed this with coal and iron from smaller mines. I think the small mine is actually a recent addition now, come to think of it, because of course I'm playing on the test branch, so I think I might have shot myself in the foot by playing on the test branch. Now to give a bit of an update of what's going on here, you can see we are now kind of getting very close to I forgot to put the power in, so we do need to get this built so that we can get the heating in, because it's too late for this year to move people into here, unless for some reason by pure magic this actually gets built up very, very quickly. Personally, I can't see it. Maybe if we bump the priorities a bit, we might be able to do it, but I need to get power into here. I mean, to be honest, to begin with, all I'm interested in is getting people in here, getting them settled down, living in here, happy, and then we can expand the population out. And of course, one of the first things we're going to do, well, these guys have already got is get a workforce out to here. The one thing I do want to do, I was looking at this, is I need to set that way, because at the moment I'm importing the cement, and this silo is slowly being built, and I don't want the guys importing cement to try and fill this silo up. So we got here, we got fire. Where's that? Okay, we may have a problem here. This could be a disaster. Go on, fire crews. Got 4 fire engines coming down here. These guys are very serious about what they're doing. That's good. Of course, you can see here the wear and tear. Oh, not now because the game's just flipped back here. But if I come, where's the wear and tear? You can see here we've now got 46% wear and tear, and the building's already gone into reconstruction. And that's one of the problems with fire. So if we get an earthquake strike now, that building could collapse. Right. We should now have the... What I want to do here is... Oh, I think what I'd like to do, I was going to just replace the refrigeration trucks like for like, but I think what we're going to do is try and be a little bit more sophisticated. This is part of a wider plan to, how can you put it, modernize the fleet. We're going to pick up there, deliver meat to here, set it to say 60%. That one as well. Just meat. I don't want them picking up anything else. Oops, 60%. Of course, we're going to need to. We'll probably need to set this to 70% because this has got less storage. You've got 0.43. Okay, this guy is already off wandering about. So, where are you? Where are you? Okay, you're going that way. You're not going that way anymore. Now, the reason I'm starting to get rid of the wagons is simply down to the fact that I've kind of alluded to this in previous parts, is we can't replace these horse-drawn vehicles. So what I need to do is kind of try and replace these over time. And what I'm working up my way is up this list slowly. I mean, I can set them to no type. That's all right. But the problem by setting them to no type is the fact that, well, the best way to example to do that is if I come into here, if I can find the, that's an ambulance there. See, so I can set this to no type. What that will mean is that the 3 ambulances that are left, wherever they are, which means they're probably, you're there, but you're from the doctor's office, which is here. What will happen is that this doctor's office, when that vehicle kind of runs out of steam, that will then no longer be a how can you put it, that will, doctor's office will no longer have the thing. So now we got some cement wagons here. I think I can replace the cement wagons here. We got 4 of them here. I don't think we really need these cement wagons anymore. I think this can go. I don't think it's contributing anything to, so we're going to get rid of you. I think we've got bigger, cement wagons with higher capacity now. Right, let's get that going. And also that means I will recover a free construction office here. The only real possible risk is, do these have cement trucks in, or concrete trucks? They were. Yeah, they're concrete trucks, not cement trucks. And that means we can demolish you, get rid of you. That removes another road connection off of there. And they can go, let me just check the other building. Okay, this one's got a cement truck in it as well. That can go as well. That gets rid of all the cement trucks. This also opens up an option here for a, I think, do I want a bulldozer in here? I don't think I do. What are we missing here? We got a dumper, we got a heavy steam hauler. I think we've got 2 heavy steam haulers, a covered hull, 2 buses, a concrete truck, crane. I don't really need that bulldozer. I think what we'll do is, actually no, we'll just leave that little gap there for the moment, because they are, this is technically, this isn't really, this is the maintenance one. Covered hole, you've got a little covered hole. I think we'll get rid of this covered hole as well, and bring in a modern covered hole. Workshop capacity. Bring a covered hole into there. Do you have a covered hole? Yeah, we've got a little Russo bolt. We've got a cement mixer, a couple of buses. I think what I might do is actually bring in another road crane. road cranes are useful when you've got maintenance buildings because it speeds up the maintenance repair process. Now, if we go back to here now, what's this? This is the ice boxes. Okay, we need now. Where would the? How much speed have you? Oh, you've got 0.07. Okay. You can go. And that gets rid of that one. Okay, can I afford to? I think I can afford to leave this one here for the moment until such time as that gets exhausted. Yeah, you're on the way. So that gets rid of that. And what this does now is it reduces this down to, we've got large container wagons. These are they mainly, where are you then? Oh, these are waste trucks. Oh, that's an issue. We have waste trucks in here. Okay, I need to replace these as well. These are large ones. We need but more efficient waste collection now. Okay, let's get a waste truck in here. Gain capacity. Now this is more speed over capacity. Again, we get a Russo bolt in here. Get rid of you. You. Where are you? Okay, let me just let that guy drop off. Waste truck. I know this is going to put up my fuel costs, but I think I just need it to modernize these things, because if I don't do it, they're going to hang around for a very long time, and they're just going to eventually cause problems. And I do want to modernize the fleet, and by making them diesel vehicles, we can then start actually get another waste truck here. And capacity, I think what I might do is just get one of these bigger ones in here as well. And what these will do is just move the waste over. And of course it means now that if we well, leave the ambulances there. That's the one there. And then it means that if I come to waste trucks now, I can actually set these up and kind of replace them over time, because once you've got trucks in there, you can set up a proper replacement program. Let's see, before we go, this needs a I'm really looking forward to getting a roller. Where let's replace that. Is there anything else here? Okay, we need that finished off as well. The summer period is the best time to do this, and get that set up down to there. I think what I might want to do is, I think we will asphalt in, start asphalting in this roundabout as well. Probably asphalt through here, but that was going to be a little bit more tricky. Probably asphalt in this road as well. Anyway, let me just get back over to here, because now I want to talk about strategic industries, which I've already kind of hinted at. And the area that interests me most, where I think I can make a key decision, but whether we can actually plan it in this part is debatable. And that is that one of the key industries that you can get into relatively early. And I think we don't have any restrictions on this. If I come to here, is the fabric factory is available. And so, oh, we got a small, this is 80. Okay, so this is just a variant. Yeah, I think this is uses prefabs, but the workforce is the same. Now, the thing about the clothing industry is the fabric factory produces 5 tons of fabric using crops, chemicals, water, and power. And it produces 5 tons of fabric. So one fabric factory can support 2 clothing factories. You can see the clothing factories produce do take 2.4 tons of fabric to produce 1.2 tons of clothes. That means that one fabric factory working with this means that we can produce 2.4 tons of clothes per day at maximum capacity. Now, if you compare that with what we're producing here, where is it? We're producing 0.272, so we get a lot more here going. Oh wow, we got a hydroplane. Oh, that could be interesting. Where is that then? Oh, I don't have a port, do I? Is my port burnt down? The one in Portsmouth. Is there one in Southampton? Do we still have a port in Southampton? Where are you? That's the passenger dock that's been rebuilt. Cargo pumping station. That pumping station. Oh, so I don't have a dock. My one and only dock, which was in Portsmouth, burnt down. Oh, great. That hydroplane could be very, very useful for bringing in tourists. So we'll need to think about that, because we may be able to. Let me just look at something. Yeah, see, we've got a western border here and a Soviet border here. That means if we put in a port here, we could bring in Western tourists and earn dollars. Interesting. That's something that's going to be certainly worth. Although, to be honest, a hydroplane in 1925 seems a little bit out of place. Anyway, back to here. So we can. What I want to do is put a clothing industry in here somehow. But that means we've also got to manufacture proper chemicals. Now, if we've got a, where's the, now what is the consumption of the fabric factory here? We need 0.5 tons of chemicals. Now, if we go to fossil fuels, we've unlocked chemical plants. So the one chemical plant can produce enough to run the fabric factory and have a little bit left over. The problem is that needs gravel, crops, wood, and oil. Now the gravel and the wood isn't a problem. Crops could be a problem in the sense that the problem's going to be is, well, we got Cosham here. Now I was planning on building a town here. If we push the town out that way, let me just check. You need to be high priority. Sorry about this. Get you on there. I forgot to put the power into here, so we got accommodation here. I also put down a distribution office somewhere. I can't remember where I put it. because we need to bring in food here. We need a food distribution office here. Got meat distribution, which is that actually picks up the local food. Food, alcohol, and meat. I think we can. Let me just see. I think what we can do. Now I'm getting distracted. Sorry about this. There's no point. We can't put meat in until we got power anyway. What we need to do is put in a chemical plant. Now, there is an alternative to chemicals. Let me just look at this. I can never remember what it is. Is this one here. This will produce 3.6 tons of chemicals from fuel, bitumen, and coal. The downside with this one is that we would have to bring everything in by truck, which isn't such a big thing. I mean, right, let me just work out the pollution figures. I think we will use this. This produces 16 tons of chemicals, so it's 2 clouds, to use the technical term. The fabric factory, if I can find it, is also 8.2 tons. And the clothing factory is 4 tons. So that means, let me just look at my calculator thingy. Basically, the general rule is 300 meters per cloud. And I think based on Bill Joe's pollution survey thingy, is that even if you've got a concentration, the spread isn't that great. So what we're talking is between 700 and 800 meters, aren't we? Plus we might need to heat South Sea. So we've got a coal mine up there. Right, let me just measure. We push Cosham up into this corner. So you can say that, well, if we measure from there, 1,000 meters is to roughly there. Let me just drop a marker, some random marker. A bit bigger. Just gonna plonk a house in there. On Basildon. And we also need to go that way because I want to have a tourist resort over. I was going to put it there, but I don't think we're going to get the space. Cancel that. Okay, South Sea is going to be on the tip of this island here, in this corner here. So what we're talking about is having the. Actually, we can remove that now because it's put a. I think what we're going to do is call you. If any of you follow my previous series, there's going to be Clotherton. Yeah, I think if we can put Clotherton here, I think we're going to need to recover some of this so that we can push out this way a bit. Yeah, I think we can get the full-blown clothes factory production here along with a chemical plant, but I think I'd like to push it out this way because we can bring the oil in across from there, coal from there, the wood we could. What else do we need for the clothes factory? I've forgotten already. Fabric factory. The challenge is going to be crops. We could if we push it into this corner here, there's a possibility that we could get a farm here, but that actually, I just had a thought. If we push this out this way, let me just see if we can, let me just scale this. Passenger, cargo, harbour, small. What I'm looking for is the extension. If we create a port here, in fact, we could put a medium one in. Yeah, what we could do, it won't go there. If we create a real hard coastline here and bring this back a little bit, maybe push. Yeah, we could put a port. We could put a port in there, or alternatively, is there anything on this corner here? Got oil there. Actually, if we fill this in, here, we could put a port harbour here. Yeah, I mean, ports don't produce pollution, so, and in reality, Portsmouth is really up against the dockyard. What we could do is actually move the dockyard down to there and have the dockyard here and have the Portsmouth or Southsea over here. That's an option, but what we would need to do is fill in this, but Clotherton, you know, the cloth industry in this corner here. We can bring the road. I think what we will do is if we put a bridge across here. I know I've got the rule against building bridges across the waterways, but I don't think Chichester Harbour actually applies because it's going to be filled in. I think what we will do is put a road there, hook you up to there, kind of hook you guys through there. Yeah, we can bring a road through here, so which means we could, if necessary, bring oil through here, but that would give another back. Actually, we don't really need this connection. What am I on about? Just kind of being a bit of an idiot, sorry. The room's getting a little bit warm now, so the brain is starting to shut down a bit. We'll leave that there for the moment. I was forgetting, I was thinking that I'd need to bring the oil in by truck, but of course we push the coastline out this way, create a kind of port here, so we could get, what's the silo sizes we got? 3,400, 800. Modern industry again. I'm really starting to hate modern industry. 2,400, 4,800. So we're talking something like that. Yeah. Right. So we're gonna have a clothing industry here and a chemical industry running off the oil there. So that's a decision there. We've got Clotherton there for that. And what we could do is, how flat's the terrain here? Okay, well, it's not exactly flat, but I think we're going to have food production here based on Fareham, which fits with the overall model because, yeah, we've got a nice flat area over here by Swanwick. In traditionally Fareham, Swanwick, Gosport was a naval town. That's where the submarine bases were built once located, but I don't think they're there anymore. Yeah, I think Fareham, Gosport and Swanwick will become our food production area. Now, if any of you follow my Grand Design series, you probably get an idea of what I'm thinking of here. is a lot of farms, a meat industry, which we will have to kind of integrate into our overall design. And then what we could do then is, if we've got a port over there, we could put another port over by Gosport here, and we could actually ship the crops around here. We can also import crops from there using ship or by train, so we're going to need a rail network in here as well. Right, I think at the moment we're still kind of working on these guys, aren't we? Why aren't you... How are we doing here? Oh, I don't know why the game's on pause. I think these are built. We just need this built here. What we got else we got here? Okay, we've now got this built. We need, so there's building without power supply. That's okay. Right, we're building this distribution office. We need this built. This guy's got one spare connection, so I want to put there. Yep. Okay, you've got boards, you've got power. What we're going to do is purchase 1, 2, 3 of those. Get them in there. Trouble is, we're too late in the year. I could get a workforce into here. Wow, got a traffic queue here. What's going on here? This is a bit vulnerable. What's the prioritizer? I think I'm gonna set it that way. I think not that happy with this. I think what we're gonna do is I get the road out here. I'm gonna build a road through here so that we can get the traffic to flow that way. Where's the water plant? Here. We're going to need a dumper. Capacity. Shop maximum capacity. Get a heavy dumper there. You've got loads of gravel, so, and we'll basically start setting up the basics here. Okay, this area really does need to try and get its you got power. Let me just check something. Might have, in my haste, got that there. Okay, these guys are drawing power from over there. That's good. We got that there. We got charcoal burners here, but not exactly sure why I put that in there. But we still need to build the school and the kindergarten. We've got the cableway here. We've got the fire trucks here. Gonna get a couple of fire trucks. So it looks like we've got this one here. You're level 5. You're not. We're going to use the ammo F-15s here. 1, 2, 3. Get 3 of those in there. I definitely need the fuel. Just something else that has occurred to me. Okay, we've now got the coaling station built, which means that I think the auto detect doesn't work through. Okay, you're building. Oh, you are building through here. You've got it selected. What's up with you? Oh yeah, I reduced the workers to try and get a workforce. That reminds me, I was thinking, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, I was thinking, let me just see where the wood cutting is. This would be in range. I want to demolish. The reason I want to demolish some here is I want to put in. We're gonna have to be even bigger. Okay. Want to demolish that. Remove that section there, so that we can put in a rail distribution office here. And what I want to do is put an inline one here. So we'll put you in, literally in like that. And that will give me a rail distribution office in this area, which means we can also put fuel into it, which means we can then start using it for other things. Now built the school, we better get 35 people in there. How much unemployment have I got? 48. It's way too low. Right, we've now got cement silos nearly finished. The next thing we want is the cement plant, but really we need this finished. Get this built in here. And that would get that work functioning. The cable stowaway station is not quite so important. We do need this built, but this is coming together quite quickly. So what we need now is this built. Once this is built, we can start getting a population into here. Once we got power, we can get tree cutting here. It's really too late, October. That's way too late for heating, because we've only got 245 over 21s at the moment. I think what I am going to do is, where's my medical university? No, the medical university is up over here. Although technically this is going to get knocked down, so this is going to be its last kind of gasp, I think, because we have got a medical university in here. Where are you? Yep. And then this will be our medical research university. The one over here we can we'll then remove. That will free up more workers. Let me just see. I'm going to scrap this guy because it's just hanging around. Get rid of you. Let's make sure you're connected to historic prison. Deliver meat. Keep it over 70%. Yeah, you only got 2 tons, so we've got to keep an eye on that. And I'm aware that I'm running out of time, so let's just run around and see our farming. Let's have a look at what we've got in the fields. Let's see, resources. We got 56 tons there. We got 40 tons here, which are still being picked up. Already assigned. I think I'm going to need some, a bit late now, but I'm going to do it while I'm thinking about it. Total capacity, 1, 2, 3 of those. Have to get some more in there. Right. We're not really picking up the crops here. Let's have a look at what we've got up here. Yeah, we're not getting... Is there crops flowing into here? Well, this is nearly full. Actually, let me just check. We are pushing more and more crops into here. So we've got overflow here. I mean, we're only on October at the moment, so we're not that bad. Let me just see here. How much we got in the way of crops here? We got 2,000. We got a nice lot of crops in here. 100. So, and we haven't even started on these fields. So that's looking good. We're gonna need to start planning out here, but to plan out here, if we're going to recover this, we're gonna need a reconstruction site, but that means that we've got to get these road connections built out here. We've got a mud road out there, but all right, this guy's got a connection through here. Right, what I am going to do is I'm going to extend this mud road out as a temporary road to about here. Again, we're just going to put a free gas station out here, and I'm going to put a free construction office. How about this needs to be high priority. Okay, I'm gonna have to remove the woodstock cutting post here. We'll stop that cutting post because you're not doing anything. And we are going to need you bringing fuel out here. 30% will be enough. And then what that means is we'll get out the constructors and stuff like that. We'll wait till we get fuel in here before we bring out the... Yeah, get rid of that. Don't want you detecting anything in this area. And then what I'll do is we'll start kind of doing the terrain editing for this area and see if we can get some more space into this area. I'm still a bit my inclination is to have the port here. We've got some gravel. Let's have a quick look at the gravel options here. 49%, 51% there. We might be able to make a small amount of gravel here, but do we need it? That's the question. I think if we can get these two built, this built in here, this is coming out here. We're going to need to start building this road out here. Have you got anybody working on this road here? Yep. Let's get these guys working on that bridge. We need this bridge built. so that we can get out to the coal mine. Oh, so many things. Right, just to finish off, let's just go and see what's going on down in Milford-on-Sea. We still need to do a few things here. We've got a small heating plant. I don't think I've put the water in. We haven't finished the sanitation here. So this is going to take a little while to finish off. And if we come back to here, okay, we're just going to carry on with our road improvement program. Build you there. Part of me says asphalt this. There's no real traffic coming down here at the moment. How far out are you guys got now? Right, we got what you here. Yeah, this is a long way out. It's, well, probably too far out, really. I need to break through that bridge, but part of me says go for this. We will remove you. This into one. Kind of upgrade this road here. I think I will. Just going to put a little sneaky bit of mud road there, just in case that any of these have got problems. It shouldn't be, because this is two-way, but of course there's no. They'd have to come round that. Actually, yeah, I think that's okay. I'm not exactly sure why. Yeah, I'm going to remove that. Yeah, that was a bit silly. This area is going to need power. But at the moment we don't need trains because we've got nowhere to send anything. Right, back to the harvest on the 31st of October. We're not really... Where are all these trucks, vehicles? Yeah, see, game can be a little bit daffy like this. Because you've got these here. These guys are queuing up to collect from this field because this field is got loads and loads of crops in it. Where at the same time these fields are being ignored. But there's not much I can do about it beyond the fact of hopefully getting that sorted out. I might need to rearrange the allocations. I think I might be in a position where I've kind of basically just produced way too much food. That's a bit embarrassing, but so we've got 45 tons here. See, this is one of the problems with when you've got an early start. You can get too ambitious. So, like here, we got 89 tons of crops in here waiting to be collected. But there's not much I can do about it. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. Apologies that I wasn't able to really plan what I wanted to do down here, but I think if we can get this area finished and set up in the next year, that would be a big step forward, and we can then start thinking about really pushing out this way. I think the coal mine is going to have to be a slow process to begin with. I think maybe pushing out this, planning this area, building this down, setting in the infrastructure here, of course finishing off this as well. So I think the focus has got to be very much on this end of the map. Let's see how these guys are going. Yep, this guy's working his way slowly down here. Of course, so we've also got this massive pipeline under here, bring up bitumen over there, which we haven't finished. Lots and lots of projects that are not finished. Has he actually detected that? Because he mightn't be out of range. Yeah. We'll assign you for demolition. So in the next part we can plan the distribution office here as well. Just see where he's actually going. A little chuffer. Right, I just want to see if he's actually going to... No, he's actually building. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.